Good evening and welcome. On the news tonight, President Bola Tinubu departs Abuja for a working visit to China. First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu launches Renewed Hope initiative to accelerate birth registration in Nigeria. Lagos State graduates 29 Pioneer Latif Jakande Leadership Academy Fellows. And on the foreign scene, over 5 million people to evacuate their homes as Typhoon Shanshan makes landfall in Japan. I'll bring you details in a moment. Please stay with us. Thank you for joining us. I am Adetola Kayode. You're welcome. President Bola Tinubu this afternoon departed Abuja for Beijing, China on an official visit. President Tinubu will have a brief layover in the United Arab Emirates. A statement from the Office of the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajurin Gilali, says while in China, the president will meet with President Xi Jinping and will hold meetings with Chinese business leaders on the sidelines of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. President Tinubu will be accompanied by senior government officials on the trip. And President Bola Tinubu has urged the newly appointed Brazilian ambassador to Nigeria, Carlos Jose Arias, to prioritize the establishment of direct flights between Nigeria and Brazil. Receiving the letter of credence from the Brazilian ambassador, President Tinubu reiterated his discussions with President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva of Brazil on the matter in February. On the margins of the African Union Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, the president expressed Nigeria's commitment to working closely with Brazil to strengthen bilateral relations and advance shared priorities, welcoming the country's presidency of the G20 in 2024. In his remarks, Ambassador Arias says President Lula is looking forward to welcoming President Tinubu to the G20 Leaders Summit scheduled for November 18 and 19, 2024 in Rio de Janeiro. He also conveyed President Lula's invitation to Nigeria to join the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty. President Tinubu also received the letter of credence from Ghana's High Commissioner to Nigeria, Vice Admiral Seth Amwama, retired. President Tinubu commended Ghana's active participation in ECOWAS and reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to strengthening relations with its West African ally. High Commissioner Amwama expressed Ghana's steadfast support to Nigeria's leadership of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. And the robust and efficient civil registration system in Nigeria is pivotal to national development and governance as it forms the basis for policy, planning and service delivery that meets the needs of all Nigerians. The First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu was of this view at the official launch of the Renewed Hope Initiative project to accelerate birth registration in Nigeria. The aim of the event, which is in collaboration with UNICEF, is to provide a strategic action plan, mobilize leadership and political commitment with a view to accelerating birth registration as part of civil registration and vital statistics systems in Nigeria.
Is vital. It is the child's legal proof of identity as a Nigerian, without which children will not be fully recognized by the government. They could miss out on government's provision on health care, education, and other social amenities. Without a birth certificate, children will be unable to prove their age, and this puts them at a great disadvantage. I therefore encourage all parents to register the birth of their children, obtain authentic birth certificates recognized by the government.
The Renewed Hope Initiative is a powerful force in our effort to achieve universal birth registration. It represents a comprehensive approach to overcoming the barriers that historically hindered this process. This initiative is crucial not only for the immediate benefit of children and their parents and their families, but also for the broader society.
Stakeholders have even further submitted that childbirth registration is a fundamental right that lays the groundwork for their access to healthcare, education and protection under the law. The discussions therefore center on partnerships and strategies necessary to drive this goal, particularly through the Renewed Hope Initiative.
Millions of children are not registered at birth, which denies them the legal recognition and the benefits that comes with it. When a child's birth is registered, it provides them with a legal identity, which in its first step is ensuring their rights and protection. Without a birth certificate, a child can become invisible to the state, unable to access essential services such as healthcare, education, and social protection.
For us, as traditional rulers, we are closer to our people. The only role we will play beyond this gathering is advocacy. The follow-up is more critical than us to sit down and have this gathering, exchange banters and ideas. But when we get back to our kingdom, we're closer to our people. We see them on a daily basis. What we can do to support your initiative and your effort is advocacy.
High points of the launch was the live demonstration of birth registration by the National Population Commission and concurrent birth certificate issuance to drive awareness and promote advocacy for the compulsory registration of births of newborns across the country. And the federal government has identified climate change as a major obstacle to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and a significant threat to global efforts to reducing extreme poverty. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, disclosed this at a program addressing the impact of climate change on farmer-heather clashes in Nigeria, organized by the Office of the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Environment. Represented by Professor Bolaji Babatunde, technical advisor to the SGF, Akume emphasized that President Tinubu recognized climate change as a significant hurdle to his efforts to lifting many out of extreme poverty, adding that the president's participation in COP28 in Dubai shortly after assuming office demonstrates his commitment to addressing this issue. He noted that the world is at a critical juncture due to the failure of global leaders, while emphasizing that collective action is necessary to find a permanent solution to the farmer-heather conflict and mitigate the effects of climate change. The Minister of State for Environment, Isiaq Salako, emphasized that individuals have a crucial role to play in the fight against climate change. He said by working together, the country can mitigate the impacts of climate change and create a more sustainable future.
Efforts have been made by his administration towards this mandate since he took over power barely 17 months ago. The president has himself recognized that climate change is a hurdle obstructing his efforts to lift many out of extreme poverty, and has demonstrated this by participating in the COP28 in Dubai almost immediately after he resumed work last year.
Individuals, we also have responsibilities. We have responsibilities to reduce our carbon footprints. We have responsibilities to ensure that we save energy. We have responsibility to ensure that we save our natural resources. We do not waste resources, because all these, one way or the other, contribute to the climate change that we are witnessing and the driving of the farmer-herders clash that we are addressing today.
Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, represented by Honorable Dixon Takiga, federal lawmaker from Benue State, highlighted the impact of climate change and farmer-herder conflict. He said climate change has worsened the competition for resources between farmers and herders, leading to clashes. He stressed that addressing this challenge requires a multi-dimensional approach that combines sustainable development, conflict resolution, and humanitarian assistance. And away from the Federal Capital Territory, here in Lagos, subscribers of the Rent-to-Home Lagos Homes who have spent a minimum of 6 years can exit the scheme if and when they can afford the outstanding balance. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu made this announcement at the official exit ceremony for the first set of subscribers 10 years ago. I have details in this report.
Dear Governor.
One of the basic necessities of man is shelter, and there's been reports of housing deficit year in, year out. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says his administration is putting up creative works that will help in reducing housing deficit by providing more affordable options, increasing access through mortgage financing options to make the dreams of those aspiring to be homeowners come true. In Lagos, it's been 10 years of social housing delivery, and the idea is to make life easier for the people by owning homes without destroying other things. The landmark event saw the presentation of certificates to the first set of Lagos homeowners after fulfilling a decade-long contract. Mr. Governor also announced the bounty for existing homeowners who have spent 6 years and above.
Acknowledge you individually and collectively for staying the course, for remaining committed to what you believe, and for God sparing your life, at the end of it, that today you are leaving this place not as a rent-to-own, but as a real owner and a proud owner, of what you have labored for. And so this policy, like I said, is optional. Nobody's compelling you, nobody's putting you under any form of pressure. Applicable to only allottees that have spent minimum of 6 years on the scheme, and such allottees must be up to date in their repayment scheme and can afford to pay off their outstanding balance.
We must thank Lagos State. We just pray that other states will copy it so that people can, if you pay over 10 years, it makes life easier. You know that because somebody wants to build a house, buy the land, start building, it will not pay student fees for the children. It will not be able to afford hospital bills because it's saying, let me just finish that house.
The governor also unveiled the housing scheme in Ilupeju, which the board solicited that it be named in the governor's name. The governor, however, declined that he rather preferred it be named after the father of the deputy governor, the late Oba Muftau Olatunji Hamzat, for the great works he's done in the state of Lagos, a gesture the deputy governor says he greatly appreciates.
One of our leaders of blessed memory, so he will be his housing estate in his memory.
I'm happy for you, and may God give you peace of mind as you live there. So I just pray that we'll be able to do more. Mr. Governor, I want to thank you very much for the honor done to my dad. Totally unexpected.
The Sanwo-Olu administration has commissioned over 20 housing schemes in less than 5 years and still counting. Adetola Kayode, LTV News. And the first set of fellows from Lagos's Leadership Academy, the Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy, have graduated after a 1-year-long fellowship, with Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu calling on them to constantly exhibit their dedication and hard work as the world is their oyster.
Congratulations to you.
Exactly 1 year ago, these 29 young men and women walked into Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's dream of having a leadership academy that will help groom and nurture the next set of world's dynamic leaders. But that's not before scaling the different stages of application, including the initial sorting of 3,000 applications. These pioneer fellows, christened class of pace setters, have been empowered to take up new responsibilities that will make them impact their careers and communities.
For those of you who had work experience by your career, today you have been identified by your cohort. From now on, you will have to be identified by your impact. Anything less than that, and you'd have failed, Mr. Governor, you'd have failed the good people of Lagos State.
The experience that the fellows have gathered over the 1 year tenure of the course should not be wasted, should not be allowed to be wasted. There should be a way we can bring them, we can mainstream their ideas, their knowledge and experience into the Lagos State public service.
Visibly happy with the turnout of the 2023-2024 cohort, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says his administration is committed to developing future leaders and refining the fellowship by providing resources, support and opportunities necessary for growth. Sanwo-Olu emphasized that the fellows are the torchbearers of a new era of leadership that will help define the future of Lagos, Nigeria, Africa, and the world.
Together, we, a combination of public and private sector stakeholders, have formed the wise and supportive village that has helped us raise these inspiring fellows of the pioneering cohort. These young men and women have not just learned, they have thrived, demonstrating an unwavering commitment to excellence, to creativity, and to integrity. This ceremony is more than just a celebration of their achievement. It is a celebration of the vision we set out to achieve with the establishment of this academy.
The Executive Secretary of LGLA, Aishat Agbaje Okwade, who presented the 29 fellows for presentation of certificates by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, thanked Mr. Governor for his immeasurable support, noting that the platform had become a beacon of hope and opportunity for future generation of leaders dedicated to shaping a future where leadership would be synonymous with service, compassion, and progress. She thereafter presented the new set of fellows, 30 of them to Mr. Governor after scaling 17,000 applications. The fellowship, named after the first civilian governor of Lagos State, Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakonde, was conceived to nurture the next generation of leaders equipped to navigate the complexities of public sector and lay ethical foundations necessary to drive positive change. Aditola Kayode, OTV News. And a total of 5,000 law enforcement officers drawn from various agencies have so far taken part in a year exercise aimed at fostering synergy and better productivity. The yearly exercise is at the instance of the Lagos State government. We have details in this report.
It is a training session for various law enforcement agencies in Lagos State to further improve and be more courteous in their day-to-day interactions with the public. The yearly training session is at the instance of the Lagos State Law Enforcement Training Institute to foster synergy.
Most times we get so many complaints from public, and they are to make sure that the public are safe. So if they are all together when they come for training, they understand each other, they know their duties each other, and then for every topic that we've been teaching them recently, it is for their own good and for them to know that each agency is to work well, to make sure, because the governor is really insistent on making the Lagos State a safe place.
A total of 5,000 participants are taking part in the training for better productivity.
They teach us about integrity, communications, how we interact with people, how we talk to people, so that we will know even the emotional intelligence too is there for people, because we are not the same thing. We see different things outside every day.
it makes us to understand that the law enforcement officers need a feasibility in all areas of their specialization.
We've learned about like things that we had no idea about. The tutors, it's been very, very amazing, and we'll just do diligently moving on.
Speaks volume to their responsibility towards safeguarding, ensuring traffic flow, ensuring compliance with rules and regulations of the states when it comes to traffic, community policing, when it comes to environmental sanitation, and all of that.
Part of the training is to further expose the officers to the use of body-worn cameras to enhance their jobs.
By the traffic, by the security, by the management of how to investigate because of especially the neighborhood, the investigation that they have to make, everything has been taught them. So I expect better thing from them.
Over 5,000 participants are taking part in the yearly exercise, and this is expected to translate to a better and safer Lagos.
And 4 accused persons suspected to have links with the August 13 attack on the BRT bus along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway have been arrested by the Lagos State Environmental Task Force. Assistant Commissioner of Police Operations, Lagos State Command, Olushola Oyewole, made this known to newsmen, revealing that task force officials swung into action same day, arresting one Muhammad Ali, who pointed out 3 other perpetrators, and others are still at large. Chairman of the task force, Adetayo Akerele, also assured Lagos residents of their safety after the attack began to cast doubts over the safety measures on BRT buses. He, however, warned miscreants who go about vandalizing public infrastructure to desist or face the full weight of the law, as there is zero tolerance for vandals and vandalism in Lagos.
Corridor, they ensure safety of lives and property along the corridor, so they should not exercise any fear. The state government has zero tolerance for this kind of disruptive act, and these ones, I think others will have to learn from it, because they will not find it easy. Not find it easy, as we are going to charge them to court.
After investigations are concluded, the suspects will be charged to court for attacking the BRT bus, also for injuring and robbing passengers on board the transit bus. You're still watching the news on Lagos Television. Still ahead. Lagos State Government flags off construction of 950 meters road in Ibeju-Lekki. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.
Soar beyond boundaries and reach communities. The largest gathering of women changing history. It's the 2024 National Women's Conference, organized by the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials, CALSO, with the theme Soar Beyond Boundaries and Reach Communities. Starting from Tuesday 10 September to Wednesday 11 September 2024 at the Convention Center, Eco Hotel and Suite Victoria Island, Lagos. Time 9 a.m. daily. Renowned speakers will include Dr. Oluwatoni Adeyemi, Mrs. Temitope Okunu, Professor Rotimi Koka, and Honorable Mrs. Opeyemi Akindele, among others, who will be sharing the wealth of experience on various topics on how to prevent and manage communicable diseases, transformative social welfare, and boy-child development, among others. Special guest of honor, opening ceremony, His Excellency Governor Umo Eno of Akwa Ibom State. Special guest for the closing ceremony, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Suli of Nasarawa State. And special guest gracing the gala night, His Excellency Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State. Yes, there will be a gala night with mouth-watering prizes to be won. Conference fee is 120,000 naira for physical participants and 30,000 naira for virtual attendees. Physical stores are available. Come join us at the 2024 National Women's Conference as we inspire, empower, and soar beyond boundaries together. For more information, please visit our website www.calso2024nwc.org Announcer, Chairman Council Convener NWC, Dr. Mrs. Claudiana Sanwo-Olu, Vice Chairman Council and Co-Convener NWC, Chief Mrs. Oluremi Hamzat, Chairperson of the 2024 NWC, Professor Olufunke Adiyeyi.
Thanks for staying with us. The Lagos State government has flagged off the construction of a 950-meter road along Onisha Street in Ibeju-Lekki. Special advisor to the governor on rural development, Dr. Nuruddin Yekini Agbaje, at the flag-off says the provision of road networks is a deliberate plan to reduce travel time and enhance socio-economic development in communities across Lagos. Member Lagos State House of Assembly representing Ibeju-Lekki Constituency 1, Honorable Mojid Fatai, while applauding the efforts of Mr. Governor, ruled out some already under construction.
To reality, because he has been unrelentless on his effort to make sure that this project that we all seated here today to witness come to an existence.
The phase 1 has commenced. And why the phase 2 will fall in the 2025 budget. And we have also Kaduna to Bogija Road. That one is ongoing again. And we still have another one at Bogija. We call the Bade Kota Road. And that one is about 80% completion. We are still expecting the contractor to put the street lights. And also, to Ikutu, according to the information at my disposal, that one is around 60% completion.
They also tasked residents and stakeholders in the community to rally around the contractor to ensure seamless construction of the road. The Sanwo-Olu administration is taking calculative steps in different sectors to avert incidents of building collapse in the state. General Manager, Lagos State Material Testing Laboratory says sticking to material testing protocols by all stakeholders, including building owners, is a major step. Incidents of building collapse have brought so much pain and loss in recent times to both the public and private sector, and the administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is seeking deeper ways of stemming the tide of this menace. To this end, the Lagos State Material Testing Laboratory, LSMTL, has been mandated to ensure that the established regulatory standards and regulations to construction practices are strictly adhered to, so lives and property of Lagos residents can remain intact. This, the agency's general manager, Olayinka Abdul, says cannot be done alone, but the cooperation of all to ensure every infrastructure is safe and reliable by going through all of the material testing process is needed.
If the engineer feels from that report that you need further tests, he refers you back to a laboratory. Now, the laboratory could now be go, if you discover that when you probably had built your structure, you have no soil test report, which should actually be the first thing anybody who wants to construct should do. Go run a test on the land where you want to build.
Abdul decried the constant intimidation, pressure, tampering with testing samples, and the abuse of the agency's officials while on duty.
Most of our personnel are being emotionally abused, even sometimes physically abused while on duty. This action should stop, and I repeat, it should stop. We represent the Lagos State Teams Plus agenda to ensure the safety of lives in averting building collapse. This we should not be maltreated for doing.
Members of the public, contractors, and other stakeholders in the built industry were enjoined to embrace material testing for quality assurance, diagnostic purposes, regulatory compliance, and environmental adaptation. Aditola Kayode, OTV News. And to this one, the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, says the union will not be intimidated by external pressures. He stated this following his appearance at the Intelligence Response Team headquarters in Abuja on Thursday. Ajaero, who was invited by the police to address allegations of terrorism financing, cybercrime, subversion, criminal conspiracy and treasonable felony, arrived at the IRT office at 10:17 a.m. and left shortly after 11:15 a.m. Speaking with journalists at the Labour House after leaving the police headquarters, Ajaero asserted that the NLC remains committed to defending the rights of Nigerian workers and will not be cowed by any form of intimidation. Ajaero further explained that his appearance before the police was in the interest of transparency and to clear the air on the unfounded accusations leveled against him and the NLC. He noted that the union will continue to fight for the welfare of workers and stand firm in the face of challenges. Despite the seriousness of the allegations, Ajaero maintained a confident stance, dismissing the claims as an attempt to weaken the labor movement. The NLC president's appearance at the IRT headquarters followed his initial invitation by the police on August 20, which he was unable to attend due to unforeseen circumstances. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN Afam Osigwe, has taken his oath of office and has been inaugurated as the 32nd president of the Nigerian Bar Association. In his inaugural speech delivered at the swearing-in ceremony, Osigwe promised to run an all-inclusive bar that keeps the association not only united, but moves the NBA forward. He also gave the assurance that under his watch, the NBA will hold the federal and state governments accountable and make sure that their policies deliver good governance to the people. The new NBA president said his administration will work towards ensuring that government's policies and programs meet the yearnings and aspirations of the people as they relate to the provision of good governance, transparency in financial expenditures, reducing drastically the cost of governance, and ensuring that the welfare of the people is given topmost priority. It takes over from the immediate past president of the association, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Yakubu Mekiao. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, says political parties taking part in the September 21 governorship election in Edo State are expected to sign a peace accord on the 21st of September. The INEC chairman, who spoke at an emergency meeting with national chairmen and secretaries of all the registered political parties, said the decision to sign the peace accord early is to enable the National Peace Committee to monitor compliance by parties before the election. Professor Yakubu, however, frowned at the attitude of political parties in failing to adhere to laid down rules, especially regarding the upload of particulars of the polling and collation agents for the Edo governorship election. The INEC chairman said unlike the previous peace accord signed a few days before the election, it was decided to do so early this time to enable the Peace Committee monitor compliance with the code voluntarily signed by parties, candidates and other critical players in the electoral process, such as INEC and the security agencies during the remaining days to the election. The signing of the peace accord will be preceded by INEC stakeholders meeting to be held on Wednesday, 11 September 2024 in Benin City. As usual, the meeting will be addressed by the INEC chairman and the Inspector General of Police. He also asked the parties to play by the rules, urging them to continue to maintain decorum and civility in their campaigns and fully comply with the Commission's regulations and guidelines for the conduct of rallies and processions. The All Progressives Congress has advised the newly inaugurated Caretaker Committee in Benue State not to dissolve any existing committee or structure in the state. Speaking with journalists after an emergency meeting of the National Working Committee with the Benue State chapter of the party at the National Secretariat in Abuja, the APC Deputy National Women Leader Zainab Ibrahim said the terms of reference of the Caretaker Committee does not include dissolution of any existing party structure in the state.
Inside the party in Benue State for 6 months, and also to conduct the primary elections for the forthcoming local government elections in Benue State. And also, it was part of their mandate to constitute the committees that will conduct the local government elections from the local government to the ward level. And this has been clearly stated to them, and they have no business, of course, dissolving any committee.
The party noted that the call was necessitated by complaints from Benue that the Caretaker Committee had dissolved some local government party executives, prompting the NWC to summon the 7-man committee to reiterate clearly their terms of reference. The terms of reference include to administer the party in Benue State for 6 months and also conduct the election for the forthcoming local government elections, amongst others. And still to come in the news. Federal government signed strategic memorandum of understanding with Boeing to boost aviation sector. That's in business news. Please stay with us.
The Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has signed a strategic memorandum of understanding with Boeing, one of the world's leading aircraft manufacturers, in a move aimed at advancing Nigeria's aviation sector. The signing ceremony took place in USA in the presence of key Nigerian aviation stakeholders, including executives from major Nigerian airlines, the top management team of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, and representatives from the Airline Operators of Nigeria. The MOU was signed by the Minister Ambasi Yithbarek, Boeing's Vice President of Commercial Sales and Marketing for Africa, and marks a significant step forward in enhancing the operational efficiency and safety of Nigerian airlines while positioning them for growth in the global aviation market. Boeing will leverage its extensive network of financiers to help Nigerian airlines acquire newer generation of its aircraft, thus modernizing their fleets. Boeing is expected to provide enhanced technical support to assist airlines in the introduction of new or used Boeing aircraft, ensuring smooth integration into existing operations. In a statement by Tunde Moshood, the Special Advisor, Media and Communications to the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, it said the agreement includes provisions for comprehensive training in airline operations and business models aimed at improving the business practices and operational efficiency of Nigerian airlines. Boeing will grant Nigerian airlines access to its vast repository of maintenance documents, engineering drawings, parts purchasing, and flight operations documents, streamlining maintenance practices and reducing operational downtimes. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council reported that non-oil exports generated $2.7 billion in the first half of 2024, representing a 6.26% increase from the $2.5 billion recorded during the same period in 2023. This was disclosed by the Executive Director, Chief Executive of The council, Noye Ayeni, during a presentation of the progress report on non-oil export performance for H1 2024 in Abuja. Ayeni said the total volume of exports during the review period was 3.834 metric tons, while 211 products exported ranging from agricultural commodities to products from extractive industries. She noted that the performance indicates that Nigerian products are gradually diversifying from traditional raw agriculture exports to semi-processed and manufactured goods. She attributed the increase in export value to the successful transition of government in May 2023 and the policy initiatives under President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. The minister, who acknowledged that the cost of meters had been on the increase, said funding was a major challenge. According to Adilabu, the federal government would fund the meter procurement through different initiatives, while the customers pay back over time. He explained further that a customer who bought an energy credit of 5,000 naira might have 100 naira deducted for the free meter he got from the government. Adilabu maintained that the federal government and the states had raised 100 billion naira for the procurement of prepaid electricity meters. The Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has concluded drafting of the State Safety Program, SSP. The exercise, according to a statement by its Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Michael Achimogu, has been undertaken under the leadership of Acting Director General Captain Chris Najomo. This achievement, Achimogu said, symbolizes a significant step towards Nigeria's full-scale program implementation, aligning with the stringent requirements of International Civil Aviation Organization. The development of the SSP draft, he added, is a testament to Nigeria's commitment to adhering to ICAO Annex 19, which provides a comprehensive framework and strategic approach for managing aviation safety in line with international best practices.
And that is on Business News Tonight. Now leave you with graphic details of trading on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The chairman of the Lagos State Table Tennis Association, Tunji Lawal, has expressed concern over the exodus of Lagos athletes moving to other states due to a lack of support for the sport. This undesirable trend has seen several athletes poached by other states ahead of major national championships, depleting the quality of athletes in Lagos. Lawal lamented that the state has lost many senior players to Ogun, Delta and Rivers states due to a lack of training facilities. Lagos has historically been a hotbed for table tennis talent, but Lawal emphasized the need for more support to help players reach their full potential.
I am of the belief that table tennis will need a replacement policy, especially the fact that over the past few years, we only have a few talented boys and girls coming out of our table tennis production plants, but now I can see that the future is bright. The coaches are doing a yeoman's job, and bringing up the quality in these boys and girls. All have to contribute to our quota to the development of this game in the boys and girls. Aside the fact that they are enjoying the game, we are taking them off the streets like I always believe, and we are giving them hope that there is a future in what they love to do.
While affirming the association's commitment to developing the sport, Lawal described the lack of facilities as a significant challenge. The LSTTA boss revealed that he donated 2 tables to the association, while the Director General of Lagos State Sports Council, Lekan Fatodu, also added 1 table.
I intend to talk to a few friends to donate more. But more importantly, we want the government to come to our aid. We have a table tennis hall at the Teslim Balogun Stadium that we don't even have the facility at all. We don't have the equipment, not to talk of, not even the tables, those things that the players can, use for themselves for the development of the game. They don't have it there. I've been here for about 4 years and we have not had 1 table bought for the association. So that was why I deemed it fit to have to buy that. The DG also, I met with him and he also donated 1 table, for the players. But I hope we can do more, where we can have a lot of tables and bring in more players from all local governments, more secondary schools to, join the developmental program for the state.
Following the successful conclusion of 2 national cadet championships recently held in Lagos, Lawal stated that athletes representing Lagos at the forthcoming National Youth Games are fully prepared for the sports fiesta taking place next month in Delta State. The inaugural National Cadet Invitational Tournament, sponsored by former Commonwealth and African champion Atonda Musa, and the 5th edition of Dr. A.A. Efukoya Cadet Championships were held in Lagos as players from various states across the country competed.
I am very, very excited, especially the fact that we have discovered some new players here. In fact, arrangement is on course that we are going to have a trial event also for the Lagos State players who will be qualifying for the next youth games. And I'm so excited that we have players coming out now. We are going into the training program starting from next week. We have to get them ready for this tournament. And I think this will have to continue. And I will be hosting another tournament of this nature very soon.
For the 2nd successive year, the 8th National Sports Festival will be held in Asaba, Delta State, from September 9 to 19.
And moving on to the foreign scene, more than 5 million people in Japan have been told to evacuate their homes after the country was hit by one of its strongest typhoons in decades. At least 4 people have been killed and more than 80 injured after Typhoon Shanshan made landfall in the country's southwest. Hundreds of thousands of people have been left without power. The typhoon has now weakened to a severe tropical storm and is making its way northeast, bringing torrential rain and severe disruptions to transport services. Most of the evacuation orders are in place for the southern island of Kyushu, but some are also in place for central Japan. Shanshan landed in Kagoshima Prefecture in the southern island of Kyushu at around 8 o'clock local time. Japan Meteorological Agency has issued its rare special warning for the most violent storms, warning of landslides, flooding and large-scale damage. High winds of up to 252 kilometers per hour have been reported on the island. Hundreds of flights to and from southern Japan have been cancelled, with some high-speed train services also suspended. The Japan Meteorological Agency expects the storm to move across Japan over the weekend before it reaches the capital, Tokyo. And it's now time for us to check out what tomorrow's weather will look like. And before we go, let's take another look at our top stories. President Bola Tinubu has departed Abuja for a working visit to China. First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu has launched the Renewed Hope initiative to accelerate birth registration in Nigeria. And Lagos State has graduated 29 Pioneer Lateef Jakande Leadership Academy Fellows. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu asked them to exhibit dedication to end hard work. And on the foreign scene, we told you that over 5 million people have been asked to evacuate their homes as Typhoon Shanshan makes landfall in Japan. And for more news, please connect with Lagos Television on these social media platforms. Please consider this thought. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. And that's the way it is on the news at 8. In case of emergencies, please call 7670112. They are toll-free lines. Thank you for watching. I am Aditola Kayode. And on behalf of the crew, we wish that you have a wonderful night rest. God bless Nigeria.